I don't know what they feeling, I don't know what they thinking. Bro, my soul's invincible like Mario when he blanket.
What's up, YouTube? We back at it again with another video. Unfiltered Thoughts Ep.3, baby. Today, recently, I've been doing good, man. I'm not gonna lie. I just been focusing on doing God's will and not my own, right? Not focusing on all the things that I want or want to happen or am trying to achieve, but instead just going one day at a time, taking everything one step at a time, one day at a time, and just really resting in the fact that God is in control, and I don't need to focus on what's outside of my control. I can only control this guy. I literally can only control me. I can only control how I respond to things. I cannot control all the external factors. So kind of letting go of that, and letting go of the idea that when sometimes I may think that I could control what is going on around me, and just giving that to God. And like even in the Bible, there's so many stories, right? Today I was reading in 2 Chronicles, right? There's two kings in 2 Chronicles 27-28. One's the father and one's the son. So I might be butchering his name, but there's Jotham, right? And he's in 2 Chronicles 27, and it says that Jotham did everything that was right in the Lord's eyes, right? So Jotham didn't do what was right in his own eyes. He didn't do what was right in the people's eyes. He did what was right in the Lord's eyes. And kind of looking at that, it's like, I want to do what's right to God. Not what's right to me, not what's right to the people around me, but what's right to God. Because everything I do, I'm going to have to give account to God one day. I'm going to have to account for everything I've done, and I've made many mistakes. I'm not perfect. I don't want anyone to watch my videos and look at me or look at what I do or what I say, and you'd be like, oh wow, this guy talks about God and he's always doing that. Don't think that I'm perfect and I'm gonna save you, because I'm not. When you meet God, you're gonna meet God yourself. I won't be there, right? You won't be there when I have to meet God, and I'm gonna account for what I did, and you would have to do the same. And I hope that everyone takes away from these videos is that you need to seek God, not me, not another person. Like, you need to spend time and really seek God, because God is the only person that's going to sustain you. And with that, right, let me get back to Jotham, right? It says later in that chapter, and I'm not going over the full chapter, I just made like little bullet points of things I noticed, right? So first, Jotham did everything that was right in the Lord's eyes. He also became mighty because he ordered his steps in the ways of the Lord, right? So, and in my Bible, I have a study Bible, it talks about how being faithful to God is true success, right? Faithfulness to God is true success. And when it's saying success, it's not meaning success as in materialistic items or fame, fortune, any of those type of things that the world may claim as success, but it just means success in life, like having a good life, a fruitful life, that you may not be in the limelight, you may not have millions of dollars, but you'll have peace, you'll have joy, and you'll be able to be a blessing to people, right? Having success in God's standard and not in the world's standard comes through faithfulness to God, right? True success. Because you can look around in this world, like how many millionaires are there that are depressed and sad, or celebrities that are just going crazy. It's like, obviously the things that, looking from the outside, you may think that you want, or you think are going to complete you, or you may think are going to be good for you, aren't. Because you can see people that have them don't aren't happy. They're not fulfilled, because only God fills the void that we have inside of ourselves. Only God. Right? And then there's Jotham's son. All right, and he's in 2 Chronicles 28. And again, I just got bullet points. So Jotham's son Ahaz did everything that was wrong in the eyes of the Lord. Right? He sacrificed and made offerings to other gods. And because of that, God gave him into the hand of his enemies. And not only that, as things got worse for Ahaz, he began to seek his enemies for help, and they would betray him. And looking at that, right, it's like when you don't do what's right in the eyes of God, you're going to experience the opposite of success, right, which would be failure. You will fail. And verse 16, it talks about how he continually, as he got more stressed and more stressed, he leaned on other gods. Right? He became faithless and didn't have faith in his God, but he had faith in the God of everyone else, and they never did anything for him, which is interesting to me to see. Like, this guy Ahaz continued to seek these other gods even though his life got worse. He just continued to lean on them when he lived under his father, and he saw everything that God did in his father's life, when his dad did everything that was right in the eyes of God. And he ends up dying, and he doesn't even... Both of these guys were kings of Israel. Sorry if I didn't say that. But Ahaz doesn't even get buried in the tomb of the kings because he was such a horrible king. Right? And it just shows you the difference, right? The father, Jotham, did what God told him to do. But Ahaz did what he wanted to do. And Ahaz leaned on other gods. Jotham leaned on the true God. And, like, what do I lean on? Is what I was thinking after this. Like, am I seeking to do what is right in the eyes of God, or am I seeking to do what's right in my own eyes? Am I leaning on things that is not God, right? The Bible says to cast all your cares on the Lord because he cares for you. So am I casting my cares on God, or am I casting them on something else? And that's been my priority right now, is really locking in and trying to remove any idol, anything that I may lean on or seek to fill me, because it's vain. Only God can fulfill me. Only God will sustain me. And I really want to do everything that's right in the eyes of the Lord, and I'm not perfect. I mess up a lot. I fail a lot. I always could do better, and I know that my sin nature, I will never be perfect, but as I continually strive to get closer to Jesus, my flaws become more aware. I become more aware to my flaws, and there's many of them, It's so essential, y'all, that we just do what's right in God's eyes. Like, do what's right in God's eyes. And like, another thing I learned, there's this gentleman named Tim that I met, and he says this phrase, and he doesn't know where he got it from, but I'm gonna quote it from Tim because that's where I heard it. So Tim's always like, when I help other people with their problems, my problems die of neglect. And to me, that's it's a beautiful quote, and it's true, right? Looking at Jotham, he served God, served God's house, and served God's people. Ahaz focused on doing what would benefit himself. And because of that, Jotham achieved success. Ahaz crumbled, right? And God gave him over to his enemies. And that's like a thing that I want to live by, right? Instead of becoming so overwhelmed with what I'm going through, I know that I serve the creator of the universe, and he knows everything I need. He knows everything about me more than I do of myself. And if I serve him, I know that he's going to take care of me. So I can be his hands and feet and help take care of other people and try to benefit other people. And that's the new movement now. That's what I'm on. And again, I'm not perfect at this, but as my eyes are being opened to these new things, it's like, now I'm aware. So let's start to put that into practice, because knowledge is not enough, right? To know something is not enough. You have to actually do it. So now I know this. Now I want to start applying it and doing it. And I might fail. I may not do it perfectly as I go, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and keep trying, right? One of my favorite rappers, Nipsey Hussle, he says, slow motion is better than no motion. Meaning, if you're moving in slow motion, you're still getting progress done. But if you're not moving at all, you're doing nothing. So I'm going to do all these things, and it may start out in slow motion, but as I keep going, it'll build up momentum until I'm able to do it effortlessly. And that's the goal. But that's the video, y'all. Hope y'all enjoying this new vibe in the whip with me. I love y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace.
Said that you don't got the victory over us now. No.
Yeah. All my life they always looked at me like I was perfect.